If you're thinking about content creation or just putting yourself out there, this is a talk that you need to listen to. So I've got Emily here. Hello.
Hello.
You're just dabbling in content creation at the moment. Yep. So tell me a little bit about why you started this journey.
So with content creation, I think I'm not there yet. I'm quite harsh with whatever titles I prescribe myself, because I have to feel like I've almost earned it. I think for me to prescribe myself with a title like content creator, I have to be, at least
successful.
Consistent, have some merit, be successful, to consider myself that.
Yeah, I think it's a very female thing, because I think we feel imposter syndrome. This is a generalization, so don't go for me, but males go in and they will just give themselves a title a lot quicker than females do. I think we kind of hesitate. We need that validation before we can call ourselves something.
Yeah, and that's a very common thing, especially when you go into corporate. You can see just going for promotions, men are more likely to go for promotions when they're underprepared, whereas you see a lot of women in that exact situation who are overqualified and they don't even put themselves in a position to get a promotion.
No.
So I think to link it back essentially, I might not be a content creator yet, but I think it's...
Look, I would contradict that. I think if you are creating content, you are a content creator. We as women just need to own it, not fake it till you make it.
100%. My whole life ethos is laying down a foundation or just doing so many things that gives you a good, starting point should you want to do something with it later.
Yeah, of course. For example, this YouTube channel I created in 2018 and I had left it dormant for a while, and then now I'm able to pick it up again. I've acquired the skills of editing and the followers. Don't close that door, maybe leave that door a little bit ajar so that you can revisit it.
Yeah. For example, the reason why I do commerce, I've actually just finished my commerce degree as an hour ago, which is crazy.
Yay.
But the reason why I picked that, even though I know I'm a creative person and I think down the line I will end up doing something creative, I think picking commerce and finance is a more pragmatic way.
Safe.
Yeah.
A safe, stable line,
To kind of lay that foundation, because once you know how money works and how money flows through an economy,
of course,
it can guide you. So if I have the groundwork now, should I want to start something creative in the future, I have the facilities, I have the connections to do so. So that's what I mean by not knowing where you're going to end up, but having that foundation, so once you do, you can set sail in that direction.
You started creating for us as a favour,
so
it was
fun.
such a natural, and then I think you're very creative, you're a great storyteller, you're open to ideas, you're open to trying new things, and that's what makes a good content creator.
A main tool of a good content creator, or just creative in general, is openness, right? Because whether your platform is 300 followers or 3,000, 30,000 followers, I think if you have that desire to grow, that desire to explore new niches, I think that's telltale of whether or not you'll be successful.
Opportunities have come your way. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, the funny thing is, content creation, it didn't come, it wasn't planned. Essentially, I picked up a gig with BIC. I met some really lovely girls. For example, a few weeks ago, I was invited to a makeup shoot with Millie, who's really lovely, and I met through BIC. And this is essentially why I have opted to start creating content, because it allows me opportunities to meet such amazing people like this and access opportunities, that a lot of people would never get access to. For example, I love fashion, I love modeling, I love making content. And without, essentially putting myself out there, I might have not had, the opportunities to kind of expand my network like that.
And you not only put yourself out there, during that party that we had, you went around and you interviewed everybody and you made friends with everybody. You're a great networker.
Thank you.
Yeah, and
it's the commerce in me, I think.
And that's what led you to that opportunities. There were 30.
100%.
There were 30 girls at that party, and you got approached because you were charismatic and personable. I think
I got along really well with Millie, so it helps.
Oh, you get along well with everybody, so it helps. Did you find it hard to launch?
I find it hard to launch because I just have so many hobbies, so many potential niches, and you know, when you have so many options, you get decision paralysis, right? Which avenue to pursue.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like in another life, if I just had less interests, if I'm just, you know, straight cut like that, it could be so easy, content creation.
Yeah, that's a very good dilemma. You've got so many options that you can create so many videos, and then you can explore to see which one works. If your aim is to grow, then I think the end game is to create videos that people will watch.
Sometimes I feel like, what's the point of putting a lot of effort into a video if you're going to get 100 likes? But in reality,
100 likes is quite a lot, actually.
It's quite a lot of people interacting with your content.
Absolutely.
There might be a lot of like silent viewers as well.
People keep talking about the 200 view jail on TikTok, and I'm a public speaker, and if you speak in front of 200 people, that is a shitload of people. Yeah. Where do you see your content creation journey leading you?
I love so many things, like Vic.
Yeah.
I start new projects all the time. I love fashion. I love thrifting.
Goes hand in hand.
It does.
Fashion and thrifting and styling. Like, you know, you'll get ready with me.
One of my truest passions to my core was sustainability.
Yeah, same.
When I was younger. And that was what started my thrifting journey. Take myself to the Camel markets to find a top for like $2.
Yeah.
And then once I stopped wearing it, I would sell it off.
Sustainable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's bad that I marked up the price a little bit.
But
But
no, that's called business.
But that turned into
That's
$20,
called profit.
turned into $50.
Exactly.
That's ignited.
Entrepreneurship.
Yeah. I love fitness.
Yes,
I really want to start posting content about that. And I think the other thing would be thought leadership. I love to talk.
Yeah.
I like to think I'm insightful, at least. So I guess my strategy right now, there's not much strategy, but my strategy for content creation would be to put a lot out there of, I guess, many different niches, see what sticks, see what I enjoy making, see what people enjoy listening to, and slowly using that as like an echo chamber to find my niche.
Of course. I mean, you have to start somewhere. You have to find your voice. You have to find what feels comfortable with you. Like you could go in saying, oh, you know, I want to do cooking. And then you find that I'm not really passionate about it. It takes so much time to set up. It's actually going out of my way to do something. And I think content creation should be something that you really enjoy and that you're already doing it. It's not completely effortless, but it shouldn't take too much effort. Otherwise, it's not sustainable.
Like when you make content, you shouldn't be creating, you're just filming.
Yeah.
You're just filming your life.
Your life. Yes.
You know, you happen to be doing it anyway.
I also think that if you don't start, you're not going to find out what works, like what people want to watch. I mean, if you're posting no videos, how are you going to know what people want to watch? How are you going to know what the algorithm wants? How do you know that what you're doing is wrong? So being wrong is actually a really good thing, because then you can learn that, okay, I'm not going to do that anymore. You also know how to create. So for example, I created a video. It started moving quite slowly. I'm thinking that hook didn't quite work. So I then created another video with a slightly different hook, and that got up to 100,000 views in 2 hours.
There you go.
Just for recreating the video. And with TikTok, you don't need to delete the first video. You can just let it go, create another video as a second take, and post that as well. You're going to work backwards because TikTok is a search engine, essentially. How are you going to create that video for that person to find you if they were to search for that topic?
It's all about marketing. I just came out of my marketing exam and I wrote about exactly this.
Yeah.
You start with the customer first, the ideal segments you want to target, and then you work backwards. What do they want to see? What pain points are they?
And you start your hook with that, or about
how to help
the viewer
Yeah.
to add value, and you can add value into by educating, entertaining, or informing.
100%. Yeah, you're really motivating me because I reckon I've got like 500 drafts.
Yeah.
So many of them I think are actually really great videos, but I'm just a little bit shy and I haven't posted it. But I guess that's a struggle with like a small content creator,
Yeah.
right? You just
Everyone starts off like that.
there's some content that I just know will go viral.
Yeah.
But do I post it because is it actually adding to my brand identity? I want to post content that maybe garners maybe less views, but contributes to who I am as a person.
Yeah.
I think the goal for me, at least putting myself out
Yeah,
there a
of
bit
course.
more.
I think your niche should be yourself.
Yeah,
like
to
you know,
build my identity.
yeah, to be you. I wouldn't worry too much about sticking to a niche. If you do find a niche that you really like, think that you need to isolate this niche, then start a new TikTok channel.
Yeah.
With that niche.
She would know. How many do you have?
I have 5 or 6. Yeah.
Don't go too hard in me.
No.
But I'd like to know if you could plan what I do
Yeah.
right now to build my brand, what would you do?
You could go in a couple of ways. Like you can get really personal.
Yeah.
And really raw. Like at the moment, you're kind of keeping it on the surface.
I am. It's pretty PC
and you
right
can,
now.
Yeah, and you can see that. Being a 20-year-old, just freshly graduated, going into a job,
Yeah.
out of a relationship, dating. There are so many topics there that you can really get down and dirty on.
Yeah. You got to fill you in on that one later.
People are interested in what it's like dating in the 20s, you know, what boys are like and all that. So it could be quite humorous as well.
Yeah.
Lots of like issues that girls go through with health and eating and image and all that stuff.
Provoking stuff.
Yeah. So what you're aiming for is engagement, because engagement is king. You know, that pushes your video out, that makes your algorithm go crazy. You really do want to get ready with me, and it's not just like, here I am in my finished outfit. People want to see the process. It's a visual platform, so be visual about it. I'm not saying get naked in front of the camera, of course not.
That could work.
Yeah. Really fast cut clips. The process of styling yourself. You can add text on screen, and text on screen is a good hook. As you started, you know, putting yourself more online, how do you feel about your friends seeing your videos? And do you feel like it, you know, what about that judgment?
Oh, I don't care.
Great. Yeah.
My friends are so awesome. At least my immediate circle, I've got nothing but support.
Great.
They are my biggest supporters. I don't really surround myself with people who would kind of have that judgmental mindset.
Yeah.
Maybe they might not pursue the same path as I would. They wouldn't be in front of the camera, but they will support me.
Yeah, that's great.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. There are a lot of people out there that cut down the tall poppies. Like we'll see, you know, you're doing something a little bit out of centre, and we'll just try and tear you down and judge you. And I feel that Australia, how long have you been in Australia for?
10 years actually.
Yeah,
I
okay.
grew up in Vietnam.
I feel like Australia is the cut down the tall poppy country.
Because we're so laid back, I think. Having come from, you know, Vietnam, which is very busy, very hustle, because we're so laid back as a nation, once we see someone putting above the bare minimum, we tend to tear them down.
Yeah.
That's what I find.
I think so too.
And you know what? I think it's actually my upbringing, like in Vietnam, that's actually pushed me to be as, I guess, motivated as I am. Like my life ethos is to live my most vibrant life. And through content creation, for example, I can access these opportunities. I can meet new people, do activities that I never get to do.
Go places you don't get to go to. Yeah.
I think it stems a lot from my childhood because even having gone to my school, I learned from a young age that it wasn't given to me.
Yeah.
You know, like I had to be on a full scholarship to even be at my school.
Yeah.
I learned from really early on that, you know, I had to work that much harder to get to the same level playing field as a lot of the other girls with, you know, like ample networks and family connections. And I wasn't born with that. So I think I've always seized all the opportunities I got.
Coming from nothing, you just work so hard and you don't take anything for granted.
My favourite video format that I would do some sort of like day in my life, time-stamped, and I would go on some sort of rant about life in the audio because I like to be stimulated audio-wise, visually.
Make sure that hook is relevant to somebody, because if somebody needs to hear that, they would listen to the video no matter how long it takes. Keep them watching to the end, because that adds to the algorithm as well. Use AI to write your scripts. I do it often. I love the interviews that you do. You're outgoing enough to do that, because not everyone can do that.
Yeah, essentially what I'm doing right now, some see it as stalling, but I'm just trying to create a brand identity so that, you know, by the time I do look to launch a product or something, I already have some sort of image attached to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You've got your personal brand.
Personal brand.
Because people buy from who they know, like, and trust. And if you've got a personal brand, people are buying you. If you're in fashion, you're competing with fast fashion. So the point of difference is you.
Yeah.
People will support you as a designer. Building up your personal brand is so important, and you should do it before you start any business.
You know, I started so many businesses. Like
Yep.
my very first one when I was 10,
Yeah.
I sold loom bands.
Oh, right, yeah.
I reckon I made like $100.
Yeah.
But that was such a big thing to me. I had my own like tote bag business where I like designed it. I
Yeah.
hand drew everything.
Yeah.
That
That's
really
fantastic, yeah.
pushed me.
Yep.
And then I had like portrait commission businesses.
Yeah. You've got entrepreneurial blood in you. You're either born as an entrepreneur or you're not.
Yeah.
And that's okay. We can't all be entrepreneurs. It does take a certain kind of person to think outside the square, and to have that passion and drive, and you need to be fearless and relentless.
My issue right now, Vic, is that, you know, I've got so much passion, I've
Yeah.
got so many interests in creativity, I just don't know where to start.
Yeah.
So I think to tie this all back to social media and content creation,
Yeah.
I'm just putting myself
Yeah.
out there
Yeah.
to try kind of reignite that spark again.
Show your art more, like show, you know.
I show my art.
I grew my art account to 10,000 followers by watercolouring, but that was 2018. 2018 was really easy to grow a
Wouldn't be
TikTok
that
account.
easy.
The best time to start a TikTok account is 2018.
Yeah.
The second best time to start one is now.
Yeah. So easy to doubt yourself because the market's so saturated, right? Everyone can create content. Everyone's a content creator.
Yeah.
My thing is what makes me different.
Yeah.
I doubt myself a lot. How is
Yeah.
this adding value? How is my content better than the next person? And sometimes, honestly, I think it's just about quantity nowadays.
You're in a casino and someone says you can roll that dice, unlimited amount of rolls, and one of it will jackpot.
Yeah.
But you're going to be standing there rolling it all
Yeah,
day.
yeah.
So that's like with the content creation. Like,
Yeah.
you know, you could post 10 videos, be consistent, one will blow up. And then when one does blow up, you then analyze why that one blows up, and then you just copy that formula.
Yeah.
Honestly, cannot tell what will blow up. And you can spend half an hour creating a TikTok and you get crickets.
Yeah.
So just
Tends to be
keep
the
doing
vibe.
it. It's a numbers game. Personal brand is kind of like a business
It is.
anyway.
You're a marketer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And once you grow, once you get to that big number, you have just developed yourself as the niche. You can post anything. That's your platform.
You talk about the 200 view gel. If I've got a lot of niches, right? I really like this one.
Yeah.
And I keep posting and I'm really consistent. I'm consistent for months.
Yeah.
And I'm not getting the views that I want or the traction I want. When do you know when to give up?
I'm sorry, but your videos are shit. You don't need to change the topic. You need to change the creatives.
Yeah.
You know, different hooks, different storytelling. Put on your marketing hat and go, what does my customer want to get out of this video? I mean, I don't think any topic is bad. I think there's so many people in this world that you will find a group of people that will be interested in that niche that you're creating. The problem is your creatives. You can't learn how to create if you don't create. Kind of hooks. It could be a visual hook, it could be a text hook, it could be a verbal hook. Human minds as well like to close loops. Like, for example, which of these 3 or 4 outfits do you like the best? And so the human mind knows that there's going to be 4 outfits, and you show 1 and 2. They want to like watch to the end because they want to see what the 4th outfit is. Natural human psychology wants to close loops. You've got to educate yourself on consumer psychology and just human psychology as well, on what keeps people watching.
That's an awesome thing, consumer behavior. That's the reason why I chose to do marketing as a part of my degree, because whatever venture I go down the line, whether it's content creation, whether it's starting my own business, I think above anything, I would be a businesswoman and a marketer before I am a designer.
Yeah. I think you'll be more successful if you were better at marketing than you are at design, instead of if you're better at design and you can't market.
100%.
Yeah.